First things, we don't use PowerPoint. That means the same platform need to be used by teachers and by trainees, by learners. And it looks has a PowerPoint, but it's not. That means we have, for example, for this seminar, we will be able to browse through slides, not really linearly, something a little more dynamically. It works also on your smartphone. And also we have what we call a presenter view. That means we can work with a double screen. That depends on the bandwidth. So since the data are not located here, I don't know why. We don't expect any bug. It has been tested many times, but we can be surprised. Why it is white? Good
question. Maybe we can try another one, another presentation.
No, but anyway, normally we have a presenter view and we see the two things. We don't know why it's not working, and there is something, a message, activate Windows. Well, no, we don't need. Everything run in a web browser, and that means I put it full screen. That means you have an interface that will adapt whether you use a smartphone, you use a tablet. According to the size of the screen, the content will adapt. And what is, that means, sorry. That means I will start before showing you, that means exactly how the platform works. I wish just to give you an overview of the intent of the content you can find on the platform in direct connection with the content of this session of today and tomorrow. Internally, we think that food packaging starts to be a problem. Myself, I'm a scientist. I'm a specialist on the safety of food contact materials. We had a problem in the past with packaging. We needed to find a compromise with a circular economy. That means the circular economy is a response to food packaging considered as a waste, because as soon as you eat your food inside, then you eat the food, but you have the packaging and you don't eat the packaging, it becomes a waste, it's losing any value, all its value. And we need to find solution to have a safer packaging, to have more responsible packaging for the environment, and that's the intent of the content of the platform FitNESS, and you will find a lot of content not to have a solution, but to try to find something which is adapted to your situation. We can have a content that include video, since we use all the technology of the web. That video that I put to justify that in direct line with my own research. Okay, that was a past PVC. These movies were recorded in France at 64, 73. In 73 in France, that's the end of returnable bottles. They think disposable bottles is much better. That should be the future. Now you have below something today. That means we promote the recycling of polymers. And the question is, are these polymers as safe as the original virgin polymers? That's the key question. Then we think that the challenge is so big that we need to educate oneself all along our life. And something, as you can see, it looks such as a PowerPoint, and we can add the mixed content inside. Not all the lectures use all of these features, because most of the lectures you will see are less animated and were definitely converted from PowerPoint. But the idea is to offer some kind of rich content. Also, to offer on the platform itself, we offer understanding of some complex effect. That means you have access to some simulation engines in order you can simulate event mass transfer from the packaging to the food, or from the food to the surrounding, what we call permeation. Here is the effect of a functional buyer. We discussed this a lot yesterday. here you have a material which has been decontaminated but without a functional barrier. That means you have, just to attract a little your attention, that means you have contamination of the food that starts without any delay, but at the end the contamination is not too large because the material has been strongly decontaminated. And on the right, something different, you have a functional barrier. The material is not too much decontaminated, and during some period of time, it is even safer. You have less contamination. But after some period of time, some delay, you see contamination, and at the end, the contamination is much higher here than here. Open question? We suffer a lack of recycled materials currently for food contact. It's really difficult to find. It's much more expensive recycled materials than even virgin one. Many industries are motivated by using less decontaminated materials, perhaps with less control source. The European law, and you will see it, authorizes the use of food contact materials. The European law authorizes the use of functional barrier. That means we will have the possibility tomorrow to use less decontaminated materials behind the functional barrier, but at the expense of this risk. How to manage it? Please, you need to train yourself, to educate yourself, to have some things, to put something safe on the market. That means all of that is a share to everyone. And we encourage the company to reuse the content of the platform FitNESS to create content that fits their needs. That's the same for consumer association, perhaps not the civil society because it's quite technical, but we encourage people to reuse the content of the platform FitNESS. Since the project is not at the end, you have to imagine that many URLs that we propose are still at transitional, that means that they may evolve. The main platform that we use for development, Steward is the main developer, it's hosted by AgroPyTech. We have also another developed platform. We have a mirror at Zagreb University, and we will create rapidly other mirrors. And if people are motivated, either from private company, public, school, university, please, you have our email. We detail entirely the procedure. The platform FitNESS 1 and 2 offer two types of content. A content that we call common is the minimum that you have to follow to understand the concept of food and packaging. And we have advanced lectures, everything related to mass transfer, that means toxicology, eco-design, anything related to risk assessment, risk management, that means process optimization, that's considered advanced. You have more or less 1 week of training with common models, and you have several weeks of advanced models. And what we will produce rapidly is a core content, which is quite secure. You have almost 81 lectures for now. If you want to follow everything, you need 3 months. And you will have a peripheral content. That means some applications for non-food applications, for example. And we want to develop and to extend also the peripheral content. That's why you have it, core and peripheral. And we need on the platform something that is not possible from now. Even if you have some tests, we offer some testing. Tomorrow, we expect that, I will say, you graduate online. I'll let the responsibility to my colleagues, because I'm a senior scientist, I'm not, I'm teaching, but not exactly what we call teaching. Please, that you will have to decide if you graduate or not. But something that we can provide is a certificate. That could be certificate of attendance, that's one thing, but that could be more. Or a certificate that attests that you can resolve some of problems. And we have a lot of discussion how to design this test. And our role is not only to design the test, because the test of today perhaps may have no value in 5 years, in 10 years with a new law. Because, for example, today we say, these days we will tell you, please use recycling materials because according to the law we have targets. But in 10 years we will tell you, no, you have to reuse the materials with a different problem. That means then the test will be different. But we need to define the ground technology that enable this, that make possible to create online a test. These tests are not hosted by any university. You will be able to take the test of someone else, to increase the content of the test, to share with the others. And we want that the knowledge that should not be in the hand of one single university, one single country. We want to have something shareable. Everything use open source technology. Everything that we are using, use something open source. And we try to use also open data science. Please, that's the direction we are taking. And we need people ready to collaborate. If you have any will to collaborate, because you want to have a specific application for you in the field of food packaging, we will be happy to help. That means we have 3 pillars that's on the platform. One, it's big word, validated content. That means the content has been curated, reviewed internally, and please, it's open a discussion. That means if any of you feel that the content should be improved or disagree, please. We are just academics and we are happy to update. Everything needs to be open source. Something you have to imagine that means most of the teaching usually which is done is either in some books, but you have to buy them, or they are in PowerPoint, but you have to attend to some lectures, to register in some universities or school to get access. That means we try to convert that everything in web document. And the key is that you can search through all the documents. That means you can find, if we have a content of the platform, you have a search engine such as Google, and the search engine can understand already more than 7,000 words. And in the future, we will add, in the near future, because will be, the first release won't be this year, but next year you will have an artificial intelligence that will try to understand what you don't know and what are your needs. And we suggest you a content. That's something that will be ready starting from the beginning of next year. But we will show you, perhaps, the platform include a disclaimer. Here you have the URL of the main platform. And you have to click, well, you have some information below that you can retrieve, and you have to click, I have understood, and then it's a video we will show you in a more calm manner. And you can click on everything to access to the content. Now you have the view even of of the presenter mode. I don't know why today it was not working. And you have a case study, additional content. You have a test that you have to resolve online. You have even documents much more elaborated. There's something I wrote with. You have a book online. That gives you an overview of what is a platform and Steward. If you can make a small demonstration of the search engine.
So here on the platform, when you arrive on the platform, you can just click I have understood, and then you will be able to access all the different lectures. And here, just what we want to show you is that here you will find all the different lectures as organized in a book, and then here we want to show you that you are able also to search inside the different slides. That is to say, when you will search here.
Do you have anything, please, if you want to test the platform, do you have anything that you want to test? but to know whether we have it or not. That can be anything. It can be even the name of a chemical, but in this case, it needs to be short. Any subject, any topic?
Metal can?
Sorry?
Metal can?
A square key keyboard. And can. By the way, there is, you have 37 lectures with metals available. Where the word.
Here we are just searching for the metal and metal can. We don't have any lecture on metal can, but maybe if we just search for can, we also have different lectures for can. So it's really search by keywords, so metal and then can.
For people that create the content, please, the metadata are really, really important. Because we can find what will be put inside. In fact, it's, the search engine has been built by an artificial intelligence initially, and intelligence sometimes not so really clever. And the point is, you click on it. You can click on it. You click directly on the image, and the lecture will start exactly at the position of the slide. We are in the middle of the lecture. By using. On the lectures, you have also notes. That means when we put it online, Google can have access even on the content of the slide. That means we extracted automatically all the words. We try to recognize, that means how the PowerPoint has been done. You can come back to it.
All right.
And you have access on the platform, something also important. You have, since it's an open source platform, you can browse everything. There is nothing to hide. That means you can extract pictures if you want. That means you can go everywhere. It's open source. We don't stop you. That's really volunteer. There is no, we don't maintain any kind of record. Imagine you work in a chemical company and you think that for your company that could be nice to know, or for yourself to know better on toxicology or on safety. But you don't want to share this with your colleagues, please go online, we don't track you. You can learn anything you want. We don't want to know, even I have a difficulty to make statistics because we have users from more than 110 countries. And also something we agree, all the content for now is in English. Something we have to improve, and we need to offer translation in several languages. That's something that will be available next year, but only with automatic translation tools. Because I speak some languages, but not all. It's really, and we don't have the time to do it manually. But the intent is, we think that the knowledge should be shared with maximum persons. Well, you can use it also on smartphone. That works well on smartphone. Well, that can work on Apple Watch, but well, okay, it's really for the fun. You have large content. Yeah, perhaps before something for the lecture. You can open a lecture where they can see that, because that's something that is good. The menu, open the menu. That means for the lectures that you have here, that means you have an abstract. You have an abstract. Then you have some topics. You have also a word map, a word cloud. That means of the concept that you can learn on it. We put, you have 45 slides and estimated time. And on the right, you can put it, start. Oster Christian is here. Then, but you can also attend or watch. That means a recorded version of this lecture. Start it. And put it full screen. That means that was in 2020. I don't know if this session will be recorded, but if this session is recorded, we can put online the same way. Will it? Yeah, close to.
Go back to original one.
Here. Okay, so we presented the FitNESS 1 platform, and now we'll also talk about the FitNESS 2, the main features of FitNESS 2. So one of the objectives of FitNESS was to create mirrors. So we created 4 FitNESS 1 mirrors for on the AgroParisTech University and also the Zagreb University. And now I will speak about the FitNESS 2 platform so you can see an overview of what we are currently doing. So here when we jump on the home page of the FitNESS 2 current version, mainly you will find all the information that you can find on the FitNESS 1 platform. That is to say what FitNESS stands for. You can access all the different lectures. I'll open it so you will be able to see. Duplicate the tab, access all the lectures. We'll come to that later on, but just to show you that you can find what we discussed just before. So a lot of topics including related to material package, including packaging innovation, social impact, food science, and more. The content is free, open source, and you don't have to log in to access the content. And as we said, the content is provided by multiple universities, including Croatia, Denmark, France, Germany, etc. So now what we are working on is the FitNESS 2 platform, and here you can access all the different lectures. So it's little different of what we showed previously. So you will be able to access all the different lectures by clicking on the button here on the left and access all the different topics. For example, packaging materials, design, properties, process, shelf life, etc. And then you will see the details of a lecture by clicking on it, for example here, and all the different details will be shown on the right. So you have, for now, topics, abstract, the authors, and read the lecture. So basically this is the state we are currently in, and as it is work in progress, we will also add some more information, for example, resources related to the lecture itself, like quizzes, case studies, etc.
And something important to understand that initially in FitNESS 1 we got one single syllabus. That means there was only one single interface with a big list of lectures. What we try to develop for FitNESS 2 is a personalized syllabus. That means to have a personalized training program. We encourage a company, we have a syllabus editor. They can pick the lectures that are useful, and tomorrow they will be able to pick only the slides that are useful for their workers, for their staff. We encourage also university to build on the content of FitNESS. They will have an editor, and they will be able to have their own lectures on their own website, and when you need to have the slide is coming from one of the mirrors. There is no need to duplicate. We will provide the technology. With an editor, you download it on your PC, you pick the slide you want, even you can add them some manually. If you know a little either Markdown or HTML, you can add a couple of slides. You put it on your website, or you put it on a USB key and you share with others, and your students, your trainees can have access to the content. And when it is needed, that's the platform that provides the content. We can have something really hybrid. It's what we try to encourage, to have original content. If this content wants to be shared with a broader community, we will be happy one day to integrate it on the platform. But that's really the philosophy we try to have. Because we try, if you remember my introduction, we try to resolve the problem associated with the food packaging. Because in 2040, that's the end of any kind of plastic packaging. If it's not reusable, that will be banned. You imagine the gap between today and 2040.
Please go ahead. And all the other objectives of FitNESS 2 is also to create nonlinear learning, slides that are based on your preferences. We also have 3 examples here. So just to give you an overview, here, okay. Here this is just a step where you will have a suggestion, of course, of a lecture just after responding 4 questions. So this is a 4th step to suggest you a lecture. So this is what we are also working on. And FitNESS 2 features, also we want to add an AI that will be able to guide you and adapt the future content of to your knowledge. User authentication based on unique key and possibility to recover a previous state. Possibility also to set up standard tests and for professionals and students. New interactive case studies, including simulation, that is to say, new content. And everything will still be free, open source, and still clonable. No tracking. So that are the main features that we are planning to do in FitNESS 2. We already started, and we will also go along with that and continue on this path. This is just the development timetable, okay, and all the different partners who also contributed to this platform and who made this whole work possible. And here is the development team, Olivier and I. We are in Paris, so if you ever come to Paris, feel free to visit us. And that's it for us.
If you have any questions, please feel free. Don't be shy. Because myself, I have a question for you. Do you think, if you attend today, do you think that training is necessary? Because some of you may be students, I'm not sure. I don't see too much students. But if you are not a student and professional, do you think you need training? Do you think that's... As an academic, we find the subject really complicated. Challenging.
Can I give a perspective from private? Hi, good morning. I'm from BA Glass, so I'm in the industry. So the answer is clearly yes, completely.
And do you use tools currently? That means, do you have access to easy resources to train yourself the way you want when it is needed?
Yes, we use plenty of tools, yeah. But not specifically this one. I'm very curious, and I will learn a little bit about.
There is tools which are created, or something that you ask, that services offered by other companies?
Both. We have our internal ones developed by ourselves, and we have also external tools.
Do you think that just some specific topic is better to have something external? I don't know, for example, safety. If we discuss about the safety and things related to the environment, you cannot be judged in part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure. We know that we have a lot of learnings that we need to have. Talking from my perspective, from my industry, and food safety for sure, something that should be going a little bit more wider than myself. I think we should teach in the universities. We should have more people going to these kind of courses, understand a little bit more about these thematics, because this will be very important for our future. And we need to be very well we need to have the correct knowledge to make the correct decisions for our future. And that starts with universities and with these kind of tools.
And also to be provocative, and I share with you, depending on the country within the EU, that the new waste management directive in the EU will be a little much more coercive. That means with obligation to use recycled materials to reach release on targets, and that means they don't obey to anything from academics or don't obey to anything from the industry. They decide that means now they need to set targets by law if they want to have the things changing. That starts to be really, it's a new phase for people working for several years in food packaging. We never saw that before. 10 years ago, if we had one of the conferences might be here, even in this amphitheater, we were saying that the food packaging is wonderful. The food packaging, nice plastics, multi-layer material, even it is intelligent, it is active, the packaging is benevolent. Even you can cut 4 slices of tomato, you put it in a packaging and you put this on the market, and we thought that it was clever. Now, I encourage you to think differently and to go through the different lecture content to see what could be the alternative. And if we reduce the plastics, how to thermal process food, to stabilize foods, do we need to reduce the shelf life of food? Because that's a lot of implications. How to secure now, since it's very difficult to find recycled materials, can you guarantee that the materials that you will use for food contact is really as safe as it was before? You have a certificate that you received yesterday. Is this certificate still valid in 3 months? How you manage that? That will be really challenging. Welcome to FitNESS.
Thank you for your answer.
Thank you very much, Olivier and Steward, for introduction, everyone to our platform.